you can watch this video both from a rising as well as moon sign perspective. So it gives you confidence to see the video in both perspectives. Unknown forums might open doors and opportunities for yourself which you've not anticipated or planned for, and that could result into some sort of a financial gain for you. This conjunction in your fourth house definitely gives an indication that there could be certain level of fame, some level of positive celebration. Hi guys, welcome back to Dev Astrology. Today we are going to be doing the reading for your sign for the month of January 2025. We have done a detailed reading for all the signs, both moon as well as rising, and you can check out the annual predictions which are already posted a couple of weeks back on my channel video. So without further ado guys, you can get started with the key dates that are going to be coming into picture for the month of January. And you can watch this video both from a rising as well as moon sign perspective. So it gives you confidence to see the video in both perspectives. All right, let me share my screen and showcase what are the key dates that will impact us this month. So guys, as you guys can see on your screen here, first and foremost, Sun is currently placed in the sign of Sagittarius, and it is going to be there till the first half of the month, till Jan 13th. And then it will be going into the sign of Capricorn from Jan 14th onwards. Then you have Mercury, which is again placed in conjunction with Sun in the sign of Sagittarius itself, and it is going to be in this sign from Jan 4th, means it is going to be transiting from the sign of Scorpio for the first 3 days and then moving into the sign of Sagittarius from Jan 4th, and then it will be in Capricorn from Jan 24th onwards. You have Venus, which is currently in Aquarius, and it is going to be there until Jan 26th, and from Jan 27th it will be moving into the sign of Pisces in its sign of exaltation, and we've touched upon this in our annual videos as well, and we are going to be talking about this in depth today. Then you have Mars, which is in Cancer in retrograde movement, and it is there till Jan of 20th, and then it is going to be moving into the sign of Gemini from Jan 21st onwards, where it will continue in its retrograde motion itself. You have Jupiter currently retrograde in the sign of Taurus in Rohini Nakshatra, which is ruled by Moon. So it is continuing in the sign of Taurus itself through the course of this month, with Saturn being in Aquarius in Purv Bhadrapada Nakshatra, which is the lord of Jupiter's sign. So it's going to be in Jupiter's sign now onwards itself in Aquarius. Then you have Rahu, which is in Pisces in Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra, which is ruled by Saturn. And then you have Ketu, which is in the sign of Virgo in Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra, which is ruled by Sun. So these are the key dates that are going to be impacting you for the course of this month. So Scorpios, you can watch this video both as Scorpio rising as well as Scorpio moon. And as you guys can see on your screen here, your 10th lord Sun is currently placed in your second house in the sign of Sagittarius. It is in a friendly position at this point in time, and it has moved 5 places away from itself. Whilst your 8th and your 11th lord Mercury is going to be getting conjunct in the second house itself, moving from your Lagna into your second house. Now, of course, Mercury is not very comfortable in the sign of Sagittarius in the Jupiterian signs. However, given that this is the 11th lord and 8th lord coming into the second house, it is going to be a very fruitful movement of these planets because it forms a Dhan Yoga as well. This is a good wealth yoga which is forming in your chart, and you must try to utilize this to the fullest. First and foremost, this conjunction is going to be there together till 14th of January when Sun will be traversing into your third house, and it will bring in some levels of travel. But before we talk about that, I would want to draw your attention that you must be finding in new ways through networking, through connecting with new people, and even unexpected unknown forums might open doors and opportunities for yourself which you've not anticipated or planned for, and that could result into some sort of a financial gain for you. this would also be a period where you will spend some quality time with your family. You will be working towards fulfilling their desires, accomplishing their goals as well during this period, and be enjoying good time in general. So I think overall, it is going to be a positive, good start for the year for you folks. The other bit to note is when 10th Lord is coming to the second, it is also a good yoga. It is a 5 places away movement, and you are going to find some initial success at your workplace in the beginning weeks itself. However, as we move ahead, you will realize that Sun traversing into the third house is going to open doors for your travels. 13th, 14th January onwards, I would not be surprised if you are required to travel. And this would also be a period, though it's a very conducive period, very auspicious period once Sun gets into the sign of Capricorn, but it would also be a period where you will face challenges from a workplace perspective. And the first week when Sun is alone and not conjunct with Mercury can bring a lot of challenging situations your way because it's a sixth movement. However, once Mercury gets conjunct in the week after that, in mid of 20th of Jan, what you will realize is Mercury's movement is 5 places away from the 11th house, which means if you are able to network with more people, connect with more people during your travels, even a short or a long distance travel is a possibility, but high chances are that this travel will be related to work. If you are able to network with these people, they could address or help you address a lot of your pain points which are arising from a professional standpoint. The other bit is this is also going to be a period where you will be very confident in terms of your expression, your ideas. You are going to be very good in terms of articulating your thought process and taking it to the world. So that's a positive tick that is going to come in play once there is a movement of this Mercury as well. And to make matters better, Jupiter is going to be giving an aspect to, though it's a debilitated aspect, but an aspect to both Mercury and Sun. So it's not all gloom and doom from a work perspective as well, because this Jupiter means it's either some sort of a spiritual guru, your own spiritualism, calm mind, or probably your bosses or seniors who could give you the right advice, maybe your fatherly figure as well, to come out of those problems and from your perspective. And I would want you to think before making any compelling arguments at a professional setup. Now, as we proceed ahead, what we find is that your third and fourth lord has been comfortably placed in the fourth house itself. And now this Saturn will be getting in conjunction with Venus. Venus happens to be your seventh lord and your 12th lord, and it will be coming in connection with this Saturn for the entire most part of the month, rather till 27th of Jan. Now, Saturn and Venus, they enjoy a mutually benefic positive relationship. And this conjunction in your fourth house definitely gives an indication that there could be certain level of fame, some level of positive celebration that might come into play with the conjunction of both these planets. Especially if you are settled abroad, or if you are looking for some sort of a movement towards your immigration process, or towards your traveling into a foreign country itself, or away from your hometown. This is a period which might bring in success for you guys, Scorpios. Now, Saturn and Venus conjunction also brings a lot of mental peace, improvement of the scenario in terms of your assets, growth in those areas. I think that is a very superlative period, because you will find some level of sustainable expansion in this space. I would not be surprised if many of you might want to take up projects that require beautification of your home, adding new assets, some luxury item purchase in terms of assets might also come in place in the month of January for you folks. It is also important to note that this same Venus will move into the sign of Pisces, into its sign of exaltation, where it will get in conjunction with Rahu. Now, Rahu has been in play in your fifth house for a long time. Rahu in the fifth can give you ideas, it can give you desires of all sorts. It can make you very romantic by nature, and it can bring in very tricky mindset from a connection perspective. And Venus coming in conjunction to the same Rahu can make a lot of expansion to all the attributes. It can bring in positive sustenance and expansion when it comes to aspects related to your investment strategies, to the way you go about stock market trading and stuff. People who are of that business stream or work in that area, you are bound to see some good trading opportunities, good money making opportunities during this 110-day conjunction. There is also a very strong possibility of some sort of romantic pursuit brewing in for you guys, Scorpios, and you would want to be exploring it if you are in the right place, single and looking forward to go ahead. But otherwise, I would want you to be careful because this can be a tricky situation. This Venus rules your seventh house itself. It is going 11 places away. It can, in a positive stream of things, bring in a lot of expansion in your marriage itself, with your married partner itself. In fact, if you are a working business professional or you are trying to expand your business opportunities, you can see a very positive uptick in that direction. And I cannot emphasize enough on that particular point. However, this same Rahu and Venus conjunction can also bring in some level of debauchery, some level of actions which might not be very ethical, and you have to be practicing caution with respect to those areas. This is also going to be a period where you will see some growth if you are in some sort of education or you're looking forward to take next level of education. People who are watching this video as students, I see a very strong possibility of you taking up courses in an international university or pursuing courses abroad, away from your workplace, away from your place of birth. And that's going to be a positive sign for you because you are going to get a recognition from a foreign university, from a foreign land. See, when I'm talking about romance, when I'm talking about business partnerships or any of it with respect to education as well, your investment strategies too, they have to have some level of foreign embodiment. If you are dating a person, you might end up liking or getting interested in a person of a different culture, for different race. Similarly, if it is related to your business partnerships, you might want to partner with international companies, MNCs for that matter, tech entities specifically. In your education as well, you'll have to look at a similar perspective. Both of these planets will be giving a aspect to the 11th house, which is what Rahu is going to prefer as well. So your desires are going to be heightened post 27th of January, and probably you will be taking actions as well once Mars gives you that support in terms of activities. Now, at the same time, Ketu is placed in your 11th house. You've been working towards your goals and targets, but as long as you remain detached with them, as long as you are able to maintain a arm's length distance to your goals, you realize that you will be able to focus towards the efforts that you have to put in. And that's exactly what Ketu is expecting you to do. And if you are able to maintain that, you will be able to achieve goals and outcomes with respect to that as well. The tricky part with this Ketu was that it was giving an aspect to the 7th house. However, Jupiter's presence here, though it is in retrograde, not one of the best situations from a marriage perspective. But since it has gotten trine with Ketu, it has brought in some positive elements to that level as well. Now, Jupiter happens to be the lord of your 2nd house and your 5th house. It has been bringing this romantic mindset, this money-making pursuit as well, and it is forming a very strong yoga. But again, you might want to be watchful how you approach yourself throughout the course. Now, Jupiter being a benefic planet in retrogression is a positive thing to happen. But any retrograded planet in the 7th house can bring in challenges with respect to the marital bliss and the marital aspects of life. However, this same Jupiter gives a very strong aspect to your Lagna. It's a friendly aspect to the sign of Scorpio as well as to the 3rd house and your 11th house. So you will be putting in efforts towards achieving your goals and targets. You will be putting in a lot of, in fact, you will be expanding on your desires as well, since Jupiter, which is an expansionist planet, along with Rahu and Venus, all three of them aspecting your 11th house itself. As we move ahead, we see that your Lagna Lord and Aries have been struggling with this, and so have been Scorpios. Your Lagna Lord has been in debilitation, but it got into retrogression, which at least provides you some respite. And as it continues, it is going to be moving back towards your 8th house. So your interest towards occult, towards hidden matters, towards secret affairs is definitely going to increase, Scorpios, and please be watchful on that front. Utilize this Martian energy towards positive outcomes. This Mars, which is currently in debilitation, is giving an aspect to your 12th house, to your exalted aspect, to your 3rd house, and to your 4th house as well. But as it moves into the 3rd, that aspect exaltation will come not only to your 3rd house, but also a support to your 2nd. So from a money-making perspective, savings perspective, January is again promising level of growth. Expenditures are going to come, but expenditures come to people who are aspiring and working towards gains. So there are 3 planets supporting your 11th, and then there is support coming in for your 2nd house as well in the initial part through Sun and Mercury, and later from Mars. So it's a good place to be in. It's a supportive place to be in. what you have to do is not be dropping the ball. Do not be wasting time and utilizing your energies of the third house to the efficient possible, and make sure you reap the benefits in the month of January. I hope, guys, you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, then please smash on that like button and subscribe to Dev Astrology. Om Namah Shivaya.